So today when I'm recording this, it's the final day of the Black Ops 7 Zombies beta. Honestly, I've had a lot of fun playing it. Probably my favorite beta overall in years, but I thought I'd give my extensive overview of everything I think about the state that Black Ops 7 Zombies is in as of the beta. Now obviously this is subject to change because once the full game releases, some of these points will be completely irrelevant because they'll be fixed. Also, I have no ammo. Don't mind me, just gonna load my save and instantly pack-a-punch my Ray Gun Mark II to tier 3, which, by the way, probably one of the best guns. Ooh! Oh, I got a daily challenge complete. Hello, bear. What's up? Goodness gravy, dude. So first things first is literally the first thing you see when you load into this map, and that is the HUD. Now, at first glance, honestly, I was not really a fan of this HUD. I don't mind it anymore, but it really doesn't feel zombies. However, for the full launch of the game, there's going to be a bunch of different customizable HUDs that have been leaked, and one of them is the Black Ops 3 The Giant and Shadows of Evil HUDs, so that alone is enough to sort of reassure me that honestly I don't care. This is just a placeholder for the beta, and to be honest, once we can properly customize it, we're not going to be using this. So then we move on into the atmosphere of the map, and honestly, this is such a cool vibe for a zombies map. I'm glad that survival maps in general are back, but this version of Farm I heavily prefer to the Black Ops 2 counterpart. Even though I didn't mind that one, it's just that Black Ops 2 Farm, specifically the survival map, didn't even have Pack-a-Punch, so it wasn't really worth playing. Town was always much better, and this just feels like Town, but with more features, since you've got Exfil, Triple Pap, silly little trash can side Easter egg, which I do like, by the way, it's quite quirky. But that's just about the visuals. So the fact that it's all set in the Dark Ether on this game is a massive W because, oh, okay, note to self, don't stand in the trap. Oopsie daisy. I might as well spin for a Perk-a-Cola, actually. I got some kind of gobblegum. Oh, it's Flavor Hex. Let's see. What did I get? I got a timeout. I've never even used it, but to be honest, screw it. Why not? Give me some breathing room. There's my Perk-a-Holic. Go ahead and pop that. So visually, especially on the Ravager rounds, I think that it looks gorgeous. It's not like Black Ops 6 where the sort of orangey mist completely covers up the entire screen, like when you do round 100 Richtofen or Sam Easter eggs. And the fact that everything's in the Dark Ether is promising for the DLC season, because there's no limit on what they can do in this game. They can go to whatever location they want to now, which is so much better. The fog in the distance and the fact this is just set in like this abandoned dairy farm. You got dead cows just kind of around the place, obviously a bunch of zombies just laying around. Secret underground bunker with mysterious box that no one knows what it is as of right now. Also, do I not have... Oh no, I do have Blast Furnace. The Origin-style generator. Still got the lava over in the distance. The farm, like the barn itself, is really, really cool. And then you come on into this house, which it's got this creepy dead family here, just sort of chilling. The atmosphere is horrifying. It's just completely abandoned, like the pans and just chopped food that's gone moldy. And this is just the visuals. I haven't even got onto the sound design yet. Listen to the trap, for example. This, 10 out of 10 creepiness. I love it. This is exactly what zombies need, stuff like this. And the round change music on Ravager rounds is fantastic. My only criticism, to be honest, with Ravager rounds is the fact that sometimes it will glitch and max ammos will not be given to the player if the last zombie decides, or the last Ravager decides to eat a bunch of random scrap on the floor. So hopefully that gets fixed. Some people are saying it's a feature, but to not give you a max ammo at all just seems a little bit too sus for me. And yeah, I can't wait until tomorrow, or it could be today when you're watching this, that I'm going to get my ear fixed, having microsuction done, which is basically like a tiny vacuum put in your ear to clean it out, I suppose. So I'll finally be able to appreciate this game's audio, well, in a month's time, because obviously the beta's ending, or will have ended by now. But yeah, look at these guys, they're so aggressive. I don't actually mind how fast and aggressive they are. The aesthetic of the Wisp T perk is fantastic. So much cooler than Bloodwolf Bite, even though I do love Luna, but I think I prefer this. Also, the fact that it doesn't kill the last zombie is a great feature. But we'll move on to the playable characters next. Now, I was kind of annoyed by this at first, and obviously it's not going to be a problem when the full game comes out. But in the beta, the fact we couldn't play as like Richtofen, Dempsey, Takio, and Nikolai, or any of the Requiem crew, but just have the quotes disabled is kind of weird to me, because people were playing it for the early access, like all the creators that were invited, not me, and they were able to like play with the quotes, and they weren't worried worried about that giving away spoilers, even though those videos are up on YouTube for anyone to watch. So I don't really understand that part, but obviously we'll play as them in the full game, so I don't really care that much. But yeah, we'll talk about Zursa for a second, the Zursa boss. Now, if you're using any other weapon, I mean, to be honest, he's not that bad. He's a little bit of a bullet sponge, don't get me wrong, and I don't like this ranged attack where he shoots bees at you, but it is kind of cool. I just find it ironic that before the launch of Black Ops 7, there was a tweet, I think in like late September, where Treyarch apparently said they were trying to cut down on ranged enemies, ranged bosses, and obviously the first one in Ashes of the Damned is going to be a bear that shoots bees at you. But I think overall they're a pretty unique threat. I like the fact that it's just a zombie bear. It's a cool concept, and it's not as annoying as like Uber Klaus, who I didn't mind because they were a threatening presence on the map. But I just hope that we get unique bosses in each map. I don't want to see returning enemies, cough cough, doppelgasts. That's not what I want to see. Because if you don't know, actually, I'm 5 rounds away, but from round 40 onwards on this map specifically, there's just a random doppelgast that spawns in every single round afterwards. Why? Literally, who asked for this? No one wants to see the doppelgast return. It was supposed to be a unique enemy type in what's it called? Almost said Dreisendrach. In Citadel des Morts, but instead they ended up returning for every single map after, and not part of like the evolution thing. I don't actually mind that. If you're unfamiliar with that in newer Zombies games, there's basically a thing where zombies can turn into, I think, parasites, and then parasites can turn into doppelgasts, and there's a whole list of like the way the evolution works. I don't mind that. That's a cool idea. But just having them randomly appear on every single map after Citadel, including this one, nah. I ain't about that. Like, it's not cool. I want unique bosses for every single map, kind of like we got Ravagers and Zursa. We don't have a need for the Doppelgast to return. There's literally no logical reason why they should. So that moves me on into the weapons themselves. Now, the Ray Gun Mark II is very, very strong. Probably the best weapon on the beta. And this Cap 40, like, futuristic version, if you have it dual wield with extended mags, it's pretty good. It's okay on this round, but to be honest, most weapons start to fall off at like round 30-ish at tier 3 gold rarity, which, you know, that's not cheap. That takes you like 9,000 salvage plus 50,000 points to get, which is kind of nuts. But I'm not too worried about the weapons because we're playing this without double standard, which is a double tap augment that basically doubles your damage for when you don't get crit kills. So I'm really not worried about that at all, since once the full game comes out and we have like deadshot augments and stuff for increased crit damage, etc., and we actually have PhD slider instead of just like the basic slide right now, zombies will not be as much of a problem, and especially damage wise, every other gun will feel stronger as a result. But yeah, as they currently are in the beta, they're kind of weak. Some weapons do actually need a buff. I think all SMGs should be buffed, to be honest, just slightly, even if it's just increased the headshot damage multiplier. Especially the ammo counts. I think most of the guns' ammo counts need to be increased slightly. I'd say the number one buff I want to see is for the regular Mark I ray gun, because it's just kind of not good. Like, it can get you to about round 35, like about what round I'm on right now. But then, unless you are camping, say, on top of this little hay bale and just shooting down in the middle so that the splash damage affects all the zombies around you, it's just not that great. It's good for the boss, it's good for taking down Zursa, but Ray Gun Mark II is just superior because the damage is so ridiculously strong. Oh, speaking of Zursa, hello, what's up? And yeah, as you can see, my pistol is kind of just... it's okay, like, it can get the job done. But it's going to take me basically most of my ammo, and then I've got to pay for my ammo back, which is fine, because normally you'd have to rely on max ammo RNG, so in a way it's better than the old games for that, because ammo can be an annoyance in those. Ah, Jiminy Christmas did. But yeah, I think that moves us on to the next thing, which is the fact that there are no augments to begin with. Also, yeah, this is the first double Zursa round. Ooh, goodness. I think I'll try and buy ammo. Oh, I got myself stuck. Run! Ah! Okay, you know what? There's an ammo crate at the back of here. It's really risky, but I need to live, dude. Ooh. I'm playing without any game sound right now because I'm not wearing my headphones since I've packed them. Ah, shit. Oh, I'm just dead there, yeah. Oh, I think the bear went downstairs. But yeah, there's no augments at all in the beta, which I think is a big L, to be honest. Also, I realized I should have self-revived. Oops. But yeah, no augments at all. It's just such a silly, silly, silly thing. Oh, I kind of get perks. Oh boy. 150 health on a dream. But augments are going to be such a key part of the full game that we kind of need to try them, you know? Oh, there he is. There you're gone. If you stand on here, all of the zombies just go straight for the trap, which is nice. Let me just quickly pick up some armor, which is another problem we're going to move on to. In fact, we'll talk about it now because I can't really say much more about augments, except we should have had them in the beta to try them for the full game, because playing without them is just not really what you'll be doing unless you're playing cursed mode. All right, got all the perks back. Oh, didn't get PhD. There we go. Yeah, armor, the aesthetic needs to change because it's just kind of boring to look at, as well as the fact that when you plate up, you know, it's just the same generic boring animation that we've had for so long now. But there is a silver lining to this. Now, hopefully cursed mode, the classic mode, or classic-esque, hopefully that will not have armor at all. That would be a big W. But the most important thing is there's an augment for a Vulture Raid. I think it's called Armormatic, and it lets you sort of automatically pick up your armor. Kind of like, was it in Cold War you could do that? So you just run over the armor and you pick it up instead of having to plate up constantly. That will make it a lot more enjoyable. Because yeah, we did a really good job of changing the aesthetic of the ammo caches. Like, look at how the bullets are just kind of floating. It looks very cool. It's more zombified. It fits the theme of this game. Whereas armor, it does literally just look like Warzone. Like, I know everyone says that, but it's true. And we need to easily identify that, okay, this is a zombified version of armor. I know some people bring up the fact that claymores, for example, a little grenade from multiplayer, well, not a grenade, but you know, you put it on the ground, enemies walk into it, explodes, like a mine, basically. In Shangri-La, on Black Ops 1 Zombies, they brought it back, but they turned it into a spike more, just to give it that little bit of zombies flair. Stuff like that is what we need for, like, the armor system, you know? Because they did a great job with the ammo caches. It's got a cool little Mr. Peaks logo on it, which I find really neat. Also, yeah, they made it so brain rot doesn't kill the last zombie either, which is massive. But yeah, I think that does it for armor. Next, we're moving on to the perk variety, which I actually love. You can see at the bottom of my screen, there's 12 perks, 11 from the previous game, so they're not drip feeding us perks at least, like they have in previous games where they're like, oh look, this perk's coming back, even though it was in the previous game, and using that as new DLC or a new update, because I hate that so much. Oh, here's the Doppelgas, by the way. This bozo spawning in every round after this, which is just so boring. And yeah, even the Rigger Mark 2 is kind of slightly falling off now. It still gets the job done, but not as reliable. But yeah, I really enjoy the perk variety. The new perk, Wisp T, breath of fresh air. It's like Bloodwolf Bite, except I think it's better because the problem with Bloodwolf Bite in Black Ops 4 Zombies was she would spawn in and kill the, you know, Easter egg steps that you're trying to do, because she would just go over to the zombies and absolutely obliterate them. Not what you wanted at all, even when you got a perkaholic in that game, because it was random what perks you'd get. If you got Bloodwolf Bite, you were usually sad. So yeah, I just hope we get a lot of new perks in the future. I don't really want to see many returning ones, but at least the augments themselves make the perks feel newer than ever. Like, even if Mule Kick comes back, for example, they'd give it augments that would make it unique enough. But now we move on to the field upgrades, and to be completely honest, I'm not a major fan of any of the field upgrades in this game as of right now. There are no augments for them, obviously, which is probably why. The base ones, I think Ether Shroud is obviously the best, just for dealing with like bosses and stuff. You can quickly just go invisible. Also, what else? Dark Flare is supposed to be really good. I did give it a brief try, and to be honest, the beam is strong enough. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the best, but even without augments, it's not bad. Also, look at that Wisp going off with insta-kill. Let's go. So yeah, I hope that the field upgrades will be much better on launch when we actually get to try them out properly with the field upgrades, but the problem I have with them is they are drip feeding. You know how I said for perks they weren't drip feeding content? Well, for field upgrades, they didn't put a few of the ones that were in Black Ops 6 in this game at all. They brought Toxic Growth back from Cold War, which is cool, even though it sucks, to be honest, unless you're camping, and even then, I think it needs augments to be useful. But they didn't bring back... Oh, I forget which ones. I could put them on screen, but yeah, there are about 2 or 3 missing, and they're going to be added in Season 1 or Season 1 Reloaded, supposedly, which is just kind of eh. You gave us all the perks on launch, why not just give us all of the field upgrades we had in the previous game? Because now we're just going to be acting like that's new content when that comes around, which is a bit of a pain. But we can move on to the Saw Blade trap next. Honestly, I absolutely love it. I'm hoping that all the traps in this game will function the same way that this Saw Blade does. You can pretty much go AFK. and it will kill everything for you, which I know that's kind of OP, but then again, we had traps like that in older Zombies games. You know, think back to, I suppose the Flogger wasn't quite that overpowered, but there are traps that pretty much do the exact same thing. Oh, hello, big guy. Let's go ahead and deal with you right after I go and get my ammo. Scary, scary stuff. But yeah, I think the trap's awesome, especially the sound design. The fact that it looks like someone has just put this together in the middle of an apocalypse. It's thematic, it fits the environment, and I love it. It's great. The fact that high rounding is actually possible without augments and without all these other extra things is pretty damn cool. And next, I suppose we could talk about high rounding a little bit, because it kind of segued into it. I think the high rounding in this game is actually pretty solid. Some people have already gotten to, I think round 600 was the highest I saw, which is just nuts, by the way. I got a self-res kit. Let's go. High rounding isn't too obnoxious because we've got the good old bin over here, which you can throw grenades in, and it will give you salvage, potentially even a ray gun, which is cool. They did bring back, what is it, the Mangler cannon, and there's going to be other Scorestreaks, which I'm not like overly happy with, but to be honest, it's cool enough. And it does quite a bit of damage, like one shot the Doppelgast. Okay, fair enough. We've got Casimir's back, of course, which are they going to be in every game at this point. Monkeys, of course, make a return. And one thing I do like in Black Ops 7 and all the recent Zombies games is they made the special grenades actually explode and do a lot of damage. But the best thing is, when you get a max ammo, your equipment finally will refill, which is great. I love that. But moving into another point similar to that, they added in an extra power-up that gives you a free random perk, and you can get this on any round at the moment. It's completely random, even though they said in the blog that you probably only will be able to get it once you've had, like, have about 3 or 4 perks, and you're on round 10 plus or something. So it's weird that you could just sort of get them at the moment, but I like that it's in the rotation. It reminds me of the 50 plus perks mod, which obviously is quite popular on my channel. It's a Black Ops 3 custom mod called Reaper's Collection, where you just have a bunch of perks and you can turn on perk power-ups. And I think it's a really, really cool addition because the prices of perks in this game are pretty extortionate. I don't like how the Wunderfizz functions because increasing the price exponentially each time you buy it, I understand the logic, but I would rather they just go and rebalance the prices of each perk based on how useful they actually are, instead of having Double Tap 2.0 in older games where it was 2,000 points, but probably the best perk in the entire game, and then Mule Kick being double that price when you literally lose your third gun when you go down. They could have just reworked the prices of the perks and kept the old Wunderfizz, which felt like a mystery box. Whereas now it's kind of just one glorified perk machine that takes away from the appreciation of looking at all the other perk machines. And I think I'm actually going to have that fucking thing happen. No, give me my max ammo, please. Why are they all bugged out and standing still? I don't know. So weird. I think it's when you throw a Casimir. Like, where is the last one, dude? Oh, there you are. Nope, there's still more. Yeah, Ravager rounds are a little bit buggy. There's one. Oh, you're the last one. Jesus, man. And I can't even get my max ammo! Are you kidding me, dude? What horse baloney is that? I guess I'll go and buy my Casimir grenades back. But yeah, those are just a couple of things that I wanted to mention regarding the perks and stuff and the Wunderfizz. I don't think it will change for the full game, but one can dream. I just hope that for the classic cursed mode, they actually do revert the Wunderfizz to how it used to function. That would be pretty cool. Then I guess the only thing left to talk about, other than Scorestreaks a bit, because I kind of mentioned that before, they're going to have a Disciple injection similar to the Mutant injection, which I'm excited to try that out. At least it's zombified, it's unique, even if it does make high rounding a little bit brain dead, because you just spam those over and over again. I don't want to have a repeat of the Mutant injection, where you just, that's your only way to get high rounds, which is why I'm glad the traps are strong, because it gives you an alternative way to get high rounds. But yeah, I think the final point pretty much is gonna be the new Exfil system. Now, it's a shame I don't actually have it this round. Maybe I can get it next round. Oh, that was something. Yeah, the new zombie models are also really, really cool. You kind of decimated them a bit, but they changed armored zombies so they can no longer sprint on high rounds as well, which is very nice. And yeah, there we go. Exfil is ready. Let's go and buy ammo. So yeah, the aesthetic of all the zombies is completely different now. There's so many more zombie models, which just really adds to the immersion. But the new Exfil is really cool. You spawn in this like giant circle. Ow, 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 ow. And you have to take down a Zursa boss, so I'm guessing this will be the same for every single map. where you have to take down the big bad of each map, the mini boss, whether that be like a Panzer Soldat or a Zursa. And once you take him down, boom, exfil complete. There's no more boring helicopter. You've got this really cool, like, safe house that you can enter, and there's the Revelations house over there, which is so sick. So I'm definitely happy with how the exfil is improved. Much better than it was before. Very glad that survival maps are back. I'm excited to see the new modes, and I think overall this beta was a very, very solid experience. It was. And I definitely have promise for Black Ops 7, but here's the big conclusion. Even with HUD presets, even with Ashes of the Damned being a really cool map, survival maps are returning, cursed mode's gonna be cool, playing like a classic style of zombies. I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate that. Having like the Black Ops 3 HUD and a bunch of other custom ones that look sick. Even with all of that considered, and the fact we've got the OG voice actors back for the main crew, except for Takio, of course, who, to be honest, Nelson Lee's doing a fantastic job so far from what I've heard. But with all of that considered, it doesn't justify the $70 price tag, and I'm kind of hoping that people will actually watch until the end to hear me say that, because I feel like some people are going to go straight to the comments and be like, wow, you're just shilling for this game. I've always had an open mind when it comes to zombies, because the way I see it, I make these videos so that you guys can have your opinions based on my gameplay and my showcase of these games to decide whether it's for you or not. Because $70 is not a justifiable price for zombies only. Is the multiplayer good? Honestly, I thought it was. Campaign, we don't know. But zombies, they should make it so that you can buy each mode separately instead of just having it as one $70 price tag, because I swear so many people would be more willing to give zombies a chance if it wasn't so absurdly expensive. I think this game is going to end up being a much better version of Black Ops 6 in its entirety, even though Black Ops 6 did quite a lot of good, to be honest. There was a lot of fun aspects, like especially the boss fights in that game were really, really nice. There were just some gaping holes, which I feel like most of that comes from the fact that Black Ops 7 was probably the original game they were working on, and they had to make one for 2024-25, so they just brought out a filler game, which would explain why the story in Black Ops 6 is so mid. Like, it's all over the place, it really is. Even though that's a very narrative-focused game. You know, there are some really cool features, like the fact that they had, I literally loaded a save file right then. You can save in solo, which is cool. Pause timer sucks, but hopefully one day they'll fix that. If it's to fix the servers from breaking, then fair enough, but I would like to go back to not being forced online in solo as well. That would be nice. But my final verdict based on the Black Ops 7 Zombies beta, do I think you should buy it or not? If you didn't buy Black Ops 6, I think you should actually, just to give the newer feel of zombies a try. But if you already own Black Ops 6, then I'd say heavily consider it. Maybe wait for a sale closer to Christmas, because the game feels so similar to the previous title. It's similar in the sense that it's everything Black Ops 6 had, but better. Now, if you're not a fan of the core systems themselves, like putting on armor and shit, you know, all that, upgrading your rarities of weapons, the salvage system, then you probably won't enjoy it. You might enjoy the cursed mode, but if you're really spending $70 for one mode, is it worth it? So it's completely up to you. Always focus on your own financial situation first. Do not prioritize buying the latest Call of Duty just for the sake of it, because, you know, the Black Ops 3 custom workshop exists. If you own that game, you've got unlimited map potential. So yeah, it's completely up to you. I will be covering Black Ops 7 Zombies, obviously, so be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications. If you want to see what the gameplay's like, but not have to spend a penny on it, because I'll be doing all the Easter eggs, all the maps. I'll probably be playing it a lot more than I did for Black Ops 6 last year, or I guess this year. And yeah, thank you all so much for watching, those of you who got all the way to the end of this. I appreciate you. Hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you see this. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.